Hello and thank you for joining me again for another edition of Insider Tips. Today I want to transition away from legal directories and talk to you more about some changes that have taken place recently at Google. Over the last few weeks, you may have noticed a pretty significant change in the way the Google results page is laid out. If you go to Google now and you type in a search, there used to be 7 different what we call map locations or business locations that would show up. That was Google Local. Well, that 7-pack has now been reduced back to a 3-pack. Very, very similar to how it was years ago when they first started rolling all this out. And there are some significant implications for us. So let's go ahead and review some of those. Number one, the guys that show up in the 3-pack still have a nice ride there, but you're going to notice that the exact street address and the phone number are no longer listed. However, Google reviews have become even more prominent, so you'll be able to click through and see that, but you still have to click several times in to get all of that information. So that's a little odd that they moved that way. Now, if you were one of those in positions 4, 5, 6, or 7 in that Google Local 7-pack, if you will, you were kind of riding along there for free. Now you're going to have much more difficulty trying to get that visibility back. At the bottom of those 3, there is a link that you can click to see 20 listings, and some of those guys may still be there. But what does this really mean for us? What this really means is that good optimized content is still extremely important for on-site visibility. In fact, where the Google Maps were kind of pushing all of those organic listings further down the page and sometimes below the scroll line, that's now less of a problem because you'll have a little bit more space there and a little bit more visibility. So again, focus on your content, focus on your blogging, focus on your relevant key terms to make sure you can get as visible as possible. There's another theory out there right now that with the reduction in the 7-pack to a 3-pack, that also is much more closely aligned with how it would lay out on a smartphone. So over the last year or so, you've heard the emphasis on mobile and mobile visibility, mobile optimization, all that. This kind of brings the desktop view in line with the mobile view. So that makes perfect sense to me. And then there is a little bit of a theory out there, and don't call me a conspiracy theory, but it is Google, so follow the money. For those guys that are no longer in positions 1, 2, or 3, they may be making a move over to pay-per-click, a PPC type campaign, which with more demand on the PPC means basically the ad rates are going to go higher and higher, thus generating more revenue from Google. So there may be an ulterior motive there. That being said, good quality content is extremely important. Let me also take just a second to plug those videos that we talked about with many of you over the last year here. A number of my clients are beginning to see first page results for their actual video thumbnails, and that's another way to get some strong conversion in terms of people seeing that and linking back to your website. So I think we're absolutely on the right track there. The data supports it, and we're now starting to see some of the results in the Google searches. Let me transition now to another change that happened just actually this week in Google, and you're starting to see in desktop search results the inclusion of some Twitter tweets, which is really kind of odd, but here's what I've seen. As you go out and you read these various blog posts and all, they'll give a number of examples. I have not been able to get those Twitter tweets to repeat in the same Google search results. Okay, so if I type that in, the one exception would be Dr. Dre. So if you type in DR space DRE in a Google search result or a Google search bar, hit return, what will come back is a whole bunch of information about this rapper. He has a massive, actually a music empire. He's into movies and everything else. And there has been some pretty significant controversy with a new movie that came out just recently that he was involved with. So that may be a reason for getting a tweet in there. But I think this is going to be more important to very large brands with massive, massive Twitter followings and things like that. You know, the Coca-Colas, the Nikes, the Dr. Dre's, the other very large firms. Will that really manifest itself at a more localized level for individual law firms and attorneys? I don't know. To be real honest with you, I don't know. The reason for including this in today's Insider Tips is just to make sure you're aware of it. And that doesn't mean, oh my gosh, now everybody's got to go out and get a new Twitter handle and start tweeting all over the place. I'm not sure it's going to actually roll that far downhill to us, but I think the big brands are actually going to see some additional exposure there. So just, if nothing else, kind of keep that on the radar screen and be aware of it. I want to thank you once again for watching this week's Insider Tips. If you have any questions or if you have other topics you'd like to see, by all means send me a quick email or give me a call. Feedback's always appreciated. But I want to thank you for your time and your trust, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week for another version of Insider Tips. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.